Is that what I'm?
No,
I mean,
no, when you get a revenue stream.
We'll never have a revenue.
Sustained revenues, for sure you will, because you're, okay, yes, you will.
Yes,
When we
you
have
will.
a trend to do, when you have either major economic development, or, which we're planning for, or were, and
Debt burdens.
and reduce debt burdens, and we collect the delinquencies, and we have sustained increase in valuation, because right now we have 1 year. 1 year is not a trend. When you have sustained sales tax growth, when you have sustained anything, we had a windfall last year we were not expecting, and we have 1 year that were very aggressive readjustments. So that's all I was saying, and that whole analysis was 1 year does not a trend make.
I would still like to see a lowering of the mill levy that would keep our fund balances above 20% in the out years.
No,
That's what I'm looking
and I still don't think that we decided on 20% last year. I think we decided on 25%. I'd
Then why
have to go
were
back and.
then why were the projections running at 21 and 22%?
Well, and actually, sometimes the further out you go, the lower they get. They don't always stay at 25, but that's what you shoot for. It's best practice from the Government Finance Accounting Association.
So can we get
Or
consensus on that?
organization.
I mean, because to me, this is as simple as, we took $200,000 out of the budget, let's say, you're gonna put it into
Gonna drop
the
into
funds available,
Mhm.
and if we say for 2015 and out years, we want 25% fund balance, whatever we can see to, 25%, and then you tell us what that looks like.
But
So you're gonna
the
leave
2
it
months
to-
is like 16.7%, so it's
You're gonna
almost
leave it to
17.
staff to come up with your sustained decreases? No, because I don't.
I don't understand what you mean by that.
You're still looking for sustained.
Right, we've removed
Yeah,
one-time
you don't have
expenses,
enough.
so
City
next
says
year,
you have one.
we've not touched an expense that's ongoing for next year.
Exactly.
We've removed one-time expenses and asked them,
That's
and
start.
that's gotta be our trade, we gotta keep that. And
So
if we
we
go
put
to
that
25%, we're cutting well under a 2% mill levy to get to 25%, or a 2 mil decrease to get to 25% for 2015.
I know, this is all turned into an exercise in convolution.
Well, I
I don't
mean,
think so.
you're presupposing that your growth estimates are already high, which they may not be.
I'm presupposing there's no significant increase in economic activity or building activity, that we made the assumptions based on what we're pretty much currently getting.
Yeah.
But with,
This was what I previously said.
occasionally we phased in some multi-housing because there may or may not, I mean, it's all just assumptions. But as we stated, and as, Mr. Kimmel stated, there's no significant economic development impact in this 5-year plan. It's just pretty much status quo, except you're gonna get the TIF's gonna pay off, and there was a very specific calculation for that was included. And other than that, there was no significant activity.
All I know is we cut $2,000 out of the budget with really not a decline in services to anybody in the city.
200,000.
1 year.
What did I say, okay, so for 1 year,
Well, there.
that's
I know.
that's $1.5 million for 1 year.
But then next year, if you don't cut another $200,000, you need to.
Or if you
either
don't-
say we're gonna have our fund balance be lower, or drop it below the 25%, or we need the 1.5% back because it wasn't.
And you know-
ongoing.
Then I would
Well, you gotta
work on
be-
getting people with large disposable income in the city to spend more money and get sales tax revenue. That's what I would.
No, we don't have any,
We have no-
yeah,
we
that
have no-
doesn't happen
I tell you-
over a year, and it's
You know what, this
not
is-
happening
Well,
right
then
now.
we'll
And-
readjust next year. You'll readjust next year.
Yes,
Yes,
make readjustments.
we
you know,
make
and
readjustments.
Come back and
We'll
we'll
readjust,
we'll need it back.
or we
You know
can
what,
readjust. You just
if
said you'll
we need it
readjust.
back, I'll vote to bring
Are
it
you
back.
not gonna be here
But
next
I
year?
am not
You
going.
You said in your
By
campaign you'll
April,
never
you
vote
have
for
to
a tax
reassess.
increase, so which
No,
one?
if we,
Okay, well then
Heath,
presuppose
if
You can have
we-
it both ways, you can't
Heath.
say I'll never vote for one.
If
Then say
we-
if we need it, I will.
Heath, if we need it back, and you know what? I will stake my seat right here, right now today, say we won't need it back next year.
10-20%.
If we need it back, yes, absolutely. If we need it back, I'll vote to bring it back. We won't need it back.
So do you want further decreases than what is listed here for this year? Because this is, I don't know, I didn't add it up, but you're getting the 200,000-ish. Or do you want to find another $70-some thousand dollars?
we had,
What-
on-
are you
I think
looking
the
for
2 mil.
Well, I think Steve
No, it's
with
more than
the
that.
Yeah,
So the
I
fund
still don't
balance in the later
understand
years
these.
is just gonna be as it is.
forms that he brought.
Right, I won't make any changes.
So we're
to
making
the
no
outcome.
changes to outer years for fund balance.
That's what I'm
Yes?
hearing. 'Cause
Well,
otherwise I don't know
mean,
how
you
to
don't
do
think we
it.
can get $200,000 in the following years in increased revenue or?
But you
Yeah.
can't
Do
bank.
you want me to
Here's-
budget that?
Well,
No, I
No,
don't
I
want
don't.
that in the lease.
How do you
Why
like
don't you
to
take
do
some of
it?
that,
Here's what I've got.
why don't you take some of that, electric utility, $3 million, and take some of that
Those are
and offset?
Well,
What's
and
that?
That's a policy decision for a different
Okay,
night.
well,
That's a
that's,
policy
that's a
decision for a
great policy
different-
decision right now to answer the
Yeah,
question.
you're the only person that wants to make that policy decision right now, and we're not gonna talk about
You got
that
$3
right now.
million.
We've got a utility director that hasn't even been hired.
I know, but 5 years,
And
you
we've
got
gotta- we've
5
gotta-
years, $200,000, that's $1
We're
million
not going to
off
talk
of
about
$3
that
million.
tonight. We're not gonna talk about it tonight.
I'm just
You don't
giving you a
have,
solution. If
yeah,
you
I
want a
know, but you're
solution,
not,
that's
you're
your
not,
problem.
yeah, I'm going to ask you to refrain from that.
All right, I see by my calculations, we have $235,000 that we've cut. 235,000. It's not quite.
Which isn't quite 272,
No,
but that's,
no, it's fine.
Is that close
That's
enough?
That's a start. It's a
Yeah,
start.
I wasn't, I'm not necessarily set on 2 mil. I mean,
No.
whatever that equates to, I'm good
Yeah,
with that.
I'm fine with that, and if we, and when we come back next year to have this exercise all over again, I think that we will be in a better budget situation.
So are we telling her to take the $235,000 out of fund balance?
Yes?
In which case you,
Yes.
respectfully, I'm not sure you need a work session because I can email the results to
Right.
you. What you're gonna see
Okay.
is an increased fund balance for this year, and it will translate into, because I'm not making any further changes, so the fund balance will be bigger in the 5-year out years, if you're not asking for reduce 2 mills, which is different than reduce these projects.
Well, hold on. So are we just
Wait,
saying
I just
reduce
thought
2
that we
mills for next
just
year?
said-
And not, is.
I heard
the
the
old-
equivalent of.
The 2 mils is not, that's just a
Okay.
number drawn out of the air.
All right, hold on a moment, please. All right, now I'm starting to get this. So here's the thing, so whatever the $235,000 or so
Right.
equals in mills, if we take that out,
It
now are we
won't
only
change the
taking
mills.
that out?
It won't change the mills, it just drops into fund balance, so if that's 2 different discussions.
Okay, but
Yeah.
now lower the fund balance to
We just lowered it.
offset the $235,000, and
For
you've
1
got
year.
a fraction of a mil somewhere in there,
But-
right?
Hey, let me, let me say one thing, and then I'll let you go back to it. So why don't we say that we're going to lower it, the equivalent in mills of the $235,000, but just for next year, because as Steve has said, and he's willing to take his seat on it, but if we, if we plan to put that money back in next year, in the subsequent years, then they don't look so bad, because Steve's willing to go and put that money back in. Is anybody not willing to
If
go?
it's
Let me,
needed.
can I finish? If it's needed, is everybody willing to go back and put that money back in?
Of course.
Anybody not?
Listen, I think it's bad policy
I-
to do this year to year and fluctuate.
Well,
I mean,
that's-
so listen, if we
This
can
is-
find,
But the problem is it's gonna look, the outer years are going to look bad. We're going to approve a budget
Here's a solution.
with bad outer years, the fund balance.
Take $1 million
And
out
so-
of the electric utility fund, 3 million of it was gained over the course of the last 5 years in higher rates. Take that $1 million, and you've got 5 years right there of 5 years of $200,000 decreases. And then you're covered. And then let's see what happens next year.
Tori, you for that?
no,
No, hold on, I just wanna get a consensus call on this. Tori, are you for that?